You are sitting in a coffee shop using the free Wi-Fi. You log into your bank to check a balance. The page loads normally. The padlock icon appears in your browser. Everything looks fine. You never know that a stranger sitting nearby just captured your username, your password, and your session token. They can now access your account from anywhere in the world, and nothing on your screen ever indicated a problem. This is a man-in-the-middle attack. The name describes exactly what happens. Two parties, you and a website, believe they are communicating directly. A third party has quietly inserted itself between you. Everything you send passes through the attacker's machine first. Everything the server sends back passes through it on the way to you. Neither side knows the conversation is being read. The most common version of this attack happens on public Wi-Fi, and the mechanics are simpler than most people assume. When your device connects to a Wi-Fi network, it needs to know which device on that network is the router, the gateway to the internet. Devices track this using a system called ARP, short for Address Resolution Protocol. The problem is that ARP was designed for speed, not security. Any device on the network can broadcast false information, and other devices will accept it without checking. An attacker on the same public Wi-Fi can send out false ARP messages telling your laptop that their device is the router. At the same time, they tell the real router that their device is you. Your traffic then flows to the attacker's machine, which quietly forwards it to the actual router. The conversation continues as normal. You see no error. The attacker sees everything. A simpler method skips this entirely. The attacker sets up a fake Wi-Fi hotspot with a name like coffeeshop_free and waits for devices to connect. Any device that joins has handed all its traffic directly to the attacker. No deception required after that. What gets stolen depends on what you do during the session. Login credentials are the primary target. Session cookies are equally valuable. A session cookie is a token your browser holds to stay logged into a site. Stealing it gives access to an already authenticated account without needing the password. Credit card numbers, personal messages, developer API keys, and internal business credentials are all captured the same way. The attacker does not need to break any encryption if they intercept the data before it is encrypted, or if they can force the connection to use a weaker version of encryption that they can crack. There is a variation of this attack that does not require the attacker to be on the same network as you at all. To understand it, you first need to understand DNS. DNS stands for Domain Name System. It is the Internet's address book. When you type yourbank.com into a browser, your computer does not know where that website lives. It sends a query to a DNS server, which looks up the address and returns an IP address, a numerical location like 192.0.2.1, and your browser connects there. This process happens in milliseconds and is invisible. DNS was built before internet security was a serious concern. Most DNS queries travel without encryption and without verification. That creates an opening. In a DNS spoofing attack, the attacker corrupts the records a DNS server returns. They can do this by compromising a router and changing its DNS settings, by injecting false responses into unencrypted DNS traffic, or by exploiting known vulnerabilities in DNS server software. The result is direct. When you type yourbank.com, the DNS server returns the attacker's IP address instead of the real one. Your browser connects to a site that looks identical to the real thing. You enter your credentials. The fake site captures them and, in many cases, passes your login through to the real bank, so the session continues normally and you never notice anything happened. This is a man-in-the-middle attack at the infrastructure level. The interception happens before your browser makes a connection. The attacker does not need to be near you. They need control of a single DNS record somewhere in the chain between your device and your destination. Both approaches, whether through a local network or through DNS manipulation, achieve the same goal. Sit between you and the service you trust and read what passes through. Protection does not require technical expertise. On public Wi-Fi, use a VPN. A VPN encrypts all your traffic before it leaves your device and routes it through a server you control, making intercepted data unreadable. Never dismiss browser certificate warnings. A certificate error on a site you use regularly is one of the clearest signs that your connection has been redirected. Check URLs carefully before entering credentials, especially on banking or email sites. Use a trusted DNS resolver like Cloudflare's 1.1.1 or Google's 8.8.8.8, both support encrypted DNS queries, making DNS spoofing significantly harder to execute. If you see a familiar Wi-Fi network name appearing twice, do not connect to either until you have confirmed which one is real. The attacker's advantage in a man-in-the-middle attack is invisibility. Everything looks normal. Knowing what to look for is what breaks it. If you are someone who wants to understand how the digital world actually works, hit subscribe. We break down the concepts behind the headlines every week. CyFlicks, Digital Mysteries. Real stories.